If your dog has ever done something that left you completely confused, you're not alone, and there's actually a reason behind it. Have you ever wondered if your dog is just ignoring you on purpose when they pretend not to hear your commands? Research suggests you might be looking at it all wrong, because right at that exact moment, their brain is likely flooded with neurochemicals. This chemical rush can actually make them temporarily deaf to your voice. If your dog has ever barked endlessly at guests, caught a wild case of the Zoomies, or obsessively licked your face, it's time to stop thinking of it as an unwanted behavior. Instead, we need to look at the neuroscience. Your pup's body is constantly reacting to their environment through a complex mix of chemicals. And we are talking about everything from the rise and fall of stress hormones, like cortisol, to sudden bursts of dopamine. Drop a 9 in the comments below if you have ever felt completely lost trying to figure out your dog's weird habits, just so we know we are all in this together. By the way, this video features AI-generated visuals designed to make these fascinating brain science facts easy to see and understand. To understand why your dog does this, let's take a quick look at what's happening inside their brain, starting right when you walk through the front door. Have you ever wondered why your dog stretches the second they see you? Are they just waking up or stretching tired muscles? Not exactly. When you walk back home after a long day, your arrival instantly activates the hypothalamus inside your dog's brain, and immediately, their body releases a huge wave of oxytocin. That familiar stretch, where they lower their chest and raise their back, is actually a physical response to release cortisol. Cortisol is a chemical their body releases under pressure, which builds up while you are gone. This sudden tensing and releasing of muscles resets their heart rate to a normal rhythm, acting as a biological reset button. If your buddy always greets you with a big stretch, hit that like button right now. This chemical release is a big deal because dogs have incredibly sensitive nervous systems, which perfectly explains our next strange behavior. Picture this: you are out on a walk, the rain starts falling, and suddenly your dog just sits down and refuses to move. Sound familiar? They aren't trying to give you a hard time. From a neurological standpoint, this is pure sensory overload. As raindrops hit their fur and whiskers, thousands of electrical impulses rush straight to their brain's somatosensory cortex. The shift in air pressure also changes how scent molecules travel, which completely scrambles their sense of smell. To process all this chaotic data, their brain simply triggers a freeze reflex. Hey, real quick, let me know in the comments what state or country you are watching from right now. This incredible sensory awareness also causes some hilarious reactions to the things we do every day. Have you noticed how your dog gets super excited when you sneeze? A sneeze is sudden and it is loud. Physiologically, this noise creates a quick spike of adrenaline in your dog's sympathetic nervous system. But because that loud noise came from you, their ultimate safe space, their brain quickly flips the switch from alert mode to play mode. It does this by flooding their system with dopamine, meaning your sneeze basically hits the reward center in their brain. But their brain doesn't always process your sounds that smoothly. Imagine you are at the dog park, you call out to them, and they act like you don't even exist. Please don't assume you have a dog who hasn't learned yet. When your pup is highly stimulated by something, like a squirrel, their amygdala lights up, pumping out heavy doses of adrenaline and cortisol. At high levels, these stress hormones cause sensory exclusion. Their brain's frontal lobe literally disconnects from their hearing pathways so they can focus entirely on what they see or smell. They genuinely cannot process your words in that state. This intense focus on specific senses brings us to another behavior that confuses a lot of pet parents. Why does your dog sniff one single patch of grass for what feels like forever? You might think they are just wasting time, but sniffing is a high-intensity brain workout. Pulling in air directly stimulates the olfactory bulb, which takes up a massive part of their brain. Continuous sniffing triggers the synthesis of serotonin and dopamine. This actively calms their central nervous system and naturally lowers their heart rate, meaning they are basically using scents to self-soothe. If you are finding this brain science fascinating, make sure to share this video or subscribe to our channel. Sometimes though, simply sniffing isn't enough to handle a stressful situation. When the doorbell rings and your dog erupts into barking, you are witnessing the fight or flight instinct. This is that hardwired reaction dogs inherited from their ancestors. A stranger's arrival activates their HPA axis, dumping adrenaline into their bloodstream, which spikes their blood pressure and breathing rate. The barking isn't necessarily a fear-based behavior or aggression. It is simply their body's way of releasing excess nervous energy, while their brain tries to figure out if this newcomer is a friend or a threat. This physical release of internal pressure can also show up in their digestion. Why on earth does your dog eat grass? Neuroscientists who study the gut-brain axis have found constant communication between the stomach and the brain. If your dog lacks certain fibers or feels nauseous, the vagus nerve shoots an emergency signal up to the brain. This wakes up ancient survival genes, and their brain tells them to chew grass to create mechanical friction in their stomach, often triggering a reflex to clear out any toxins. These ancient survival instincts still run the show in modern dogs, and they lead to a really frustrating indoor habit. Is your dog tearing up your living room sofa? Rhythmic scratching is actually a self-soothing mechanism. The repetitive motion stimulates the release of endorphins, the brain's natural painkillers. If your pup doesn't get enough mental enrichment, their baseline cortisol levels stay too high. Digging into the couch helps them cool down their nervous system and prepare their body for sleep, so it is all about regulating their chemistry. But that peaceful home environment is easily shattered by the ultimate modern monster. To us, the vacuum cleaner is just a household chore, but to your dog's nervous system, it produces high-frequency sound waves that painfully strike their auditory nerves. The motor's vibration triggers a negative chemical response, flooding their brain with cortisol and noradrenaline. This chemical cocktail screams that their life is in danger. Because the machine lacks a tucked tail, pinned ears, or a stiff body, your dog's brain cannot read its body language cues. This unpredictability leads to absolute panic, and these stressful memories don't just vanish either. They keep processing them long after the sun goes down. Have you ever watched your dog twitch in their sleep? Just like humans, a dog's brain has the ability to rewire itself. When they enter REM sleep, their motor cortex still fires off electrical signals. The chemical inhibitors in their brainstem that normally paralyze muscles during sleep sometimes leak. This allows chemical signals to activate tiny muscles in their paws and face, meaning they are simply consolidating their memories from the day. Sleep restores their nervous system, but sometimes that restoration comes from their most basic bodily functions. Let's talk about the Zoomies, specifically why your dog runs around like a maniac after going to the bathroom. This is tied to a powerful vagus nerve response. Doing their business highly stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, and when the physical pressure drops, a massive wave of dopamine and adrenaline hits their bloodstream. This extreme sensation of relief forces their brain to command their muscles to explode with energy, just to burn off the sudden chemical rush. And finally, we arrive at the most famous dog behavior of all, where chemistry meets pure love. Why does your dog lick you so much? This is the most powerful biological loop they experience. When their tongue touches your skin, the mechanical action directly stimulates sensory receptors. This tells their pituitary gland to release massive amounts of oxytocin into both their brain and yours. Even more amazing, their nose can actually detect the changes in your cortisol levels when you are stressed out. Your dog isn't just giving you kisses. Their body is chemically reacting to lower your stress hormones and literally bring down your blood pressure. This doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It means your dog is communicating and you're learning to listen. The good news? Once you understand the why, the what to do becomes a whole lot clearer. So the next time you see these behaviors, you'll know exactly what your dog is trying to tell you. Your dog doesn't need to be perfect. They just need you to understand them, and that's already something special.